And welcome to this live stream today. We should be live here on YouTube, and as you can see, the title, The Earth is Splitting in 2024. I'm going to be explaining this phenomena which is occurring today, and many of you will want to settle in and listen to the context of this message because it's going to be an important one. Many people are asking this pivotal question right now is, what are we going through? What the hell is going on? I'm here to answer that question. Now, not everybody is going to know what I'm talking about. Some people are going to be coming across this content, perhaps scrolling through the reels, and have no idea what I'm on about. And this is why things are splitting. It is a split in consciousness. This split represents a divergence in the collective consciousness of humanity. People are going to either align with this vibrational frequency, or they're going to stay with the old. They're going to stay with the old forms of consciousness. What Dolores Cannon said is what people are familiar with. So I'm going to switch my camera on now in a moment because hopefully you've tuned into this, and we're going to be discussing this profound earth shift, which is happening right now, by the way, 2024. You know, when Dolores Cannon wrote her book, The 3 Waves of Volunteers, a lot of this was just a concept. We certainly weren't living, when that book was written, in a time of such pronounced change. And yet there isn't a day that I think goes by without us seeing some major thing occur. This is happening at a exponential rate. It's going to increase exponentially as the year goes on as well. So the question for you is, are you making the shift, or are you staying with this old consciousness? Dolores Cannon spoke about 3 groups in her book, The 3 Waves of Volunteers and the New Earth. The first group were the first wavers. They were born between the 1940s and the 1960s. They came to pave the way for the other 2 waves. They incarnated just past the ending of World War II, where in the desert of North America, an atomic bomb was detonated, later on to be dropped in 2 locations in Japan, which consequently ended World War II. There was a recent film about that whole event. This sent out not only reverberations into the earth, but into different dimensions of reality. And at this point, we live in a world of non-interference. We're a developing species. They cannot interfere unless we are set to affect different realities, different dimensions. So a call was given from the earth that earth was in trouble. This has been spoken about, and I've done some research into this phenomena of starseeds or volunteers or way showers, different terms for the same thing. There have been people incarnating into the human species for thousands of years. This isn't necessarily a new concept. And the term was first coined by an individual in the 1970s. So we're seeing lots of books being published now and lots of video content here on YouTube about this star seed phenomena. But it is not a new thing. What is occurring now is a mass realization and awareness of what has been going on for quite some time. And I want you to stay tuned to this because I'm going to be getting into some more of the specifics. Followed by the first wave, we had the second wave volunteers. Now, these are really the change makers. Perhaps there are some that are watching today that you fall between the dates of being born between about the 1980s and into the 90s. And you sense that you're here to make a difference. You sense what I call this universal question is that you're meant to be contributing something to the collective. You're meant to be making a difference. So many of us will identify with that. And the third group being the third wavers, they are really meant to establish this new reality or this new earth, which is arising right now. But prior to that arising new earth, first there has to be a split between the old and the new. The question for you that is watching today is, are you shifting into this new reality? Or are you staying with what you created in the old, what is familiar, with the old negativity and the fear? One thing I've learned about human beings is they love the idea of change. However, when you ask people that have answered yes to loving change, if they want to change, I've observed very few of those numbers actually agree that they want to change. This speaks of the human condition. Now, the momentum of this arising consciousness is forcing about this process to occur. The question is, are you arising with the momentum? And it is not happening out there. It's happening in here. It's rising within the consciousness. Some people are going to watch this and have no idea what I'm talking about. Now, we're not meant to change anybody except ourselves. We're meant to transform our consciousness if we choose to do so, but nobody is being forced to do anything. We're being challenged, those of us that are arising now, to relinquish that which no longer serves. And these might be in the form of relationships, perhaps the trajectory of our career that we've been on. You know it does not serve your highest good, and so you're being challenged to let it go and perhaps step into some territory that doesn't offer the same comforts that you were used to. I did this when I went into this work years ago. I left a very well-paying job and into something that wasn't so well-paying because I was trusting that I was stepping into my soul's purpose. I would say for the vast majority of us, we don't see the breakthrough before we see all the breakdown. And often this is a painful experience because we have to experience all this breakdown and pain and suffering and releasing what we are familiar with and trusting this energy, trusting the divine force within us that is ultimately guiding us along the way. Is it easy? I answer this question every day. No, it is not easy. Change takes growth. Change takes letting go of what is safe and familiar. But is it worth it when you do shift and change, when you do release the old negativity and the old identifications that no longer serve you? Boy, was it liberating for me when I disidentified with an aspect of myself that was not getting me where I wanted to go. I used to identify as being shy and introspective. That archetype, that way of seeing myself was never going to serve me to fulfill my life's purpose, which is to inspire, teach, and communicate. And so I was forced to disidentify with a previous version of myself that wasn't helping me grow. What is it in your life that you need to disidentify with? Old beliefs about yourself that are no longer serving your highest good. See, this shift is all about a disidentifying with the old. And I get asked all the time, will this be, Paul, physical? Yes. Yes, it will. But I'll elaborate on that. How does all manifestation work? If we want to manifest something, first, we can't just expect that we want something and get it. No. The way that manifestation works is first we have to be it in order to see it. We don't get what we want, we get what we are. How is this new earth going to physically manifest in our reality? We project reality through the projection of our consciousness. This is how all manifestation works. We need to embody, and many of us are, this new consciousness. Now, when enough of us have created this, it will solidify and become this new earth reality. Are you a part of that group? Are you creating this new earth reality, or are you staying with what you have created in the old earth? See, there's a tough element of this message today, because the toughness is the change that has to occur. I love using this analogy because I think most people understand it when they hear it. If you need to build a new structure over an existing structure, you know that first the existing structure has to be dismantled in order for the new one to be built. And this is exactly what we are seeing occur right now. We're seeing a whole old system being dismantled before our eyes. If you don't believe me, simply read the news. How does that looked over the last 20 years? Institutions like mainstream religion ceasing, particularly in Western countries, to have the power and the influence they once had for thousands of years. This arising consciousness of spirituality is not happening in the old traditional structures so much as it's arising through the everyday individual at a very personal level. When you do the work that I do online, you get a very good perspective of how this shift is taking place and just how many people in every walk of life, I've seen it in every country, every people group. This isn't just occurring with one set of individuals. This is widespread. I'm broadcasting here from Australia, right down under, and reaching people with this message all around the world, something that was impossible without mass resources even 10 years ago. And yet here I am communicating this message. This power structure has been shifting for much time already. This dismantling is happening with or without us. This arising consciousness is going to happen without me. It's going to happen without you. The question is, are you on board? Are you ready to relinquish the old so that you can step into the new? That is the choice that we have, and that is why I share this message. Often it's a repeated message, but important nonetheless, because we have to now move with the momentum. This message is challenging us to let go of that which no longer serves us and step into a more authentic version of ourselves. I hope this message, I trust this message resonates with those that it's meant to. And for the other people, it will be meaningless. And that is okay, because we're not meant to change anybody. I'll see you next time I communicate.